I ride the camel through the sandstorm. Discover what must yet be another floating island, made of metal. I don't exactly get this part, but how this helps the Oasis to stay around. Each line in the report contains the history of a single value. Hmm. Yeah, don't have work today, so why not? Each line contains the history. Okay, the Oasis produces a report of many values and how they're changing over time. Okay, so that's the history. Your environmental report should include a prediction of the next value in each history. Mhm. To do this, start by making a new sequence from the difference at each step. Okay. If that sequence is not all zeros, repeat this process using the sequence you just generated as the input sequence. Um, yeah, I'm not sure I get that. Once all the values in your latest sequence are zeros, you can extrapolate what the next value of the original history should be. What? In the above dataset, the first history is 0, 3, blah blah blah, because the values increase by 3 each step. The first sequence of differences that should generate will be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Note that this sequence has one fewer value than the input sequence because at each step it considers two numbers from the input. Since these values aren't all zero, repeat the process. The values differ by 0 at each step, so the next sequence is 0, 0, 0, 0. This means you have enough information to extrapolate the history. Visually, these sequences can be arranged like this. What? To extrapolate, start by adding a new zero to the end of your list of zeros. Because the zeros represent differences between the two values above them, this also means there is now a placeholder in every sequence above it. Okay. Finally, you can fill in B, which needs to be the result of increasing 15, the value to its left, by 3. Finding all zero differences for the second history requires an additional sequence. Okay. I think I have an idea how this works. I'm not sure how to calculate it though, but if you find the next value for each history in this example and add them together, you get 114. Coolio. Okay, let's see what we can do with code. Whoops. All right. Mm-hmm. Input. Test-driven development. No fire today. I can add a fire for you. Yeah, the look usually gets progressively worse. You're gonna think of a Compiz add-on, puts the frames of Windows on fire. Yeah, Compiz was great. Compiz. Yeah, dope stuff. Yeah, I remember this one. Close the window, it burns away. Am I doing all the days in Rocklang? Don't know. I don't intend to switch languages at the moment. I did do some in Elm, I think two of them. But now that I've figured out uh, how to do parsing relatively okayly, turn the inputs into structured data, it's fine to do it in Rock. You'll talk to your wife's mom a bit and then ask me about how effects work. What effects? War rooms are for the birds. Interesting. So basically, I could write a function that calculates those lists, take the last element of the list, use that to predict the next one. No? Maybe? Oh, let's see. Where's the browser? Uh, what's it called? Next. Kind of sequence of differences. That's a good name. Or differences for short. Because isn't any list a sequence? And should this be just called nums or value, I guess? This would be 3, 3, um, 3, 3, 3. One less, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Expectation failed as expected. Oh, now it prints the uh, wrong answer as well. So, when values is a list with things, think I can do it. Types in Rocklang. What about types in Rocklang? Hmm. Okay. Well, I think the thing called task here is an effect. So that's like something that happens. Um, well, let's get an official description. Like something that happens indirectly somewhere else whenever, eventually. And usually it happens like if you call time now, it happens kind of now, but the program has to kind of like get it from somewhere. Like let's say an HTTP request would have to be considered an effect. You make a request, like you do some computation elsewhere, and then you get an answer. I think, yeah, pretty much that's what they mean with effects. Oh, okay. Uh, where did you see effects in here? Not even sure the base language has any effects, because the task comes from the basics CLI platform. So all the effects are like provided by the platforms in this language, I think. Although supposedly they want to put tasks into the like basics library. I can't recall where I read that. Maybe some future. But yeah, the task is like the abstraction via which you do effects. So this here would be, well, at least as I understand it, would be considering. Yeah, yeah, that's basics. Yeah, file reading, writing. But yeah, I found out recently there's this feature where you can just import text files, which is pretty convenient for AOC. The main is itself the task. Yeah. I mean, it could return a task depending on the platform, but I think, yeah, here it has to be a task because that's what the platform defines or requires from the rock program. This here doesn't seem to mention. Uh, Not at all, because it's all those differences have a type. Yeah, it's just evaluated by the compiler, and like there's I don't have the language to talk about it, but that's the Hindley-Milner type systems, like fully statically typed or whatever it's called. Sound type systems. Yeah, yeah, type inference. Um, Need to brush up on my words to talk about this stuff. Yeah, sure you are. Especially in the REPL. You slam list in here. The infer type is a list of nums, which is like a generic number. Yeah, there have been some weird cases uh, with yesterday's task where uh, I tried to multiply two integers together and didn't have types anywhere, and I got an overflow, so it was inferring a lower integer than I was like calculating. But I'm not sure how even the compiler could figure that out. And in that case, I just added unsigned 128 and the calculations worked. In real life, I would usually add uh, types everywhere, even like inside functions and stuff, inside variables. It's like super good documentation, and you get a lot better error messages when you add types. Otherwise, it's going to give you like the most generic thing that might have gone wrong. But yeah, I wanted to find is there effects? Talk about effects here. Yeah, those back arrows are a language primitive. That's something called backpassing, so you don't have to like staircase things. Um, Let me see if I can get the language server working. Nope, not gonna go to task 08, I guess. Maybe it's because the unfinished when. Yeah. So basically, you get the A as the thing to the left of the arrow. So it makes like this functional pipeline programming kind of look like regular programming in, I don't know, JavaScript, except you have these arrows instead of equal signs. Yeah, I really like backpassing. You can do the same thing in Elm, except your um, how do I get out of it? Except your like the argument start would be at the end of what you did, plus Elm format would turn it into a staircase anyway. So yeah, this would be really nice if Elm format didn't do that. But also, it doesn't really come up too much where you need to do that in real life, and there are workarounds. You just assign variables. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's helpful for me too. Like, I learned, for example, that I have no idea how to talk about these things. I don't. I have read these things, but I don't like have the words to take immediately to talk about this stuff and to brush up on them. So I wanted to walk this. Start with an empty list. A if no when state is empty, and what do I do? Is that zero? No, it isn't zero. All right. Bye bye. I start with an empty list, how do I get a... Can I modify them? Or is this a super dumb idea? Like prop last state 1, create a pipeline. No, that doesn't really work, does it? Unless... Unless I put... Okay, this might even work. Such a stupid solution, but... A stupid solution for stupid people. So... A1... A minus A1... And also append A. That's weird. So, let's see what that does. Hmm. Okay, so just remove this, and we're golden. Uh, Interesting. Oh, right, right. So I do add the A, but I drop it from the end. Drop last one. Beautiful. So what do I do with the differences? Go until I find one where they are all zeros. So what's the next function? Is it predict? Might be predict. Okay. I think I can go straight here. Uh, use. What else? No, not here. State and A, let's say. So difference is A, state, uh, uh, diffs. If diff list all equals 0, then if it's zeros, do I need to keep them? No, it doesn't really matter, right? So a return state. No, I don't, because I do want those diffs. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to add some logic where, uh, yeah, I don't even know what the logic is. Well, I do not know what logic is. It's like the um, lost diffs list will stay the same. Duplicate the lost element or something. I don't know. To state else. Uh, no, no, no. It's always then list and diff to state. Otherwise, call sequences with state and diff. Add a little debug. Expects two arguments. Uh, hmm, what? Diffs. Difference. Oh, no, this is supposed to be a number. What? I guess that's one time where we need to add type conditions for errors. Oh no, this returns a list. Why? Okay. Argument is a number of type num. Good. Why does it need to be list nabs? Deaths is a list of nabs. No? Oh boy. Types are fine. I'm just having some variable shadowing issues here. Let's give it the proper name then. Might as well. Interesting. Oh, I need to append the diffs to the state either way. Oh boy, what is that? I will press undo for a little bit and redo for a bit. Nah, come on, man. Is the state with the same type, so we would complain. Mhm. And the state is supposed to be a list of lists. Why is that a problem now? Wait, this needs deletion. Whoops. Yeah, 2 arguments, 3 arguments. Okay. So I would start this with the values 2. Is there a way to have it be added here? What if this had a day? What would happen then? Something weird. Okay. Dips and what? An A? I think the A should be first. No. Okay, that looks like it's working. So now that I have the sequences, I just list dot walk backwards. Funny names here. Oh, backwards. That's diffs. Uh, when diffs is something with a last value, and what do? I need state. So state plus A. Otherwise, is it that easy? Might be. Answer is 18. Coolio. So all I need to do is plug in the example, the predict function. Example list dot list dot what? List dot it's a string though. String dot split. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Epo case. Um, no. People case needs to be here. Mhm. So first try. Mm, Example input 114. That's correct. Yes, it is. So get my positive input. What? Oh, sabor. Okay, I have the input. Let's plug it in. Integer addition overflowed. Man, why? That's not good. And also, what overflowed? Oh yeah, that's the real input, so the numbers are larger. Uh, to U128. How about that then? Hmm. What? How? Are you sure it overflowed? Oh, I do have negative numbers, so that might have done something. Yeah. Yeah, those weren't nets this time. Whoops. Yeah, yeah. Easy peasy. Time for another timer. And do part two. Of course, it would be nice to have even more history included in your report. Surely, it's safe to just extrapolate backwards as well, right? For each history, repeat the process of finding differences until the sequence of differences is entirely zero. Uh, Surely it's safe to extrapolate backwards as well. I don't know, man. Rather than adding a zero to the end and filling in the next values of each previous sequence, you should instead add the zero at the beginning of your sequence of zeros. That sounds too easy. Adding the new values on the left side of each sequence from bottom to top. Oh, I'm missing some letters. Bottom to top eventually reveals the new leftmost history value 5. Okay, let's try it out. It's either state minus A or A minus state. Not sure which. But let's assume that the output isn't supposed to be negative. Hmm, that sounds pretty low. Pretty low indeed. So I will add another test. Or modify this one. Actually, I will commit the first part. Now redo those changes and add a test. So if we remove the 5, the expectation is 5. Rock test. You passed. Interesting. So this should be the right answer then, right? 1038? That was low. That's the right answer. Okay. Easy peasy. That was probably the easiest yet. I mean, at least the second part. Well, the first one wasn't particularly difficult either. Yeah, so I'll commit the second part too. Yeah, I finished. It's all done. Look at this beautiful calendar. The diff for the second part was just this. Whoops. Just this was the change. Yeah, 1 hour, what, 4 minutes in total? I think one of the days was a bit shorter, but no, the difficulty varies wildly. So the first like 4 days were extremely difficult, at least like time-wise. Or yeah, I spent a lot of time on just parsing stuff, where I could have just replaced strings and made the parsing easier. But yeah, see you tomorrow. Maybe they saw that people weren't happy. I don't know.